are you?
I'm right here.
Uh, the one time I put
Hi.
my that's Chase. Put it on. There you are.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
that's so Chase. This is Jasmine. Jasmine,
Hi,
this is
Jasmine.
Chase.
I'm Chase.
Um, Chase was actually my first choice to host your show in September, but he was unavailable. So
Oh,
Chase is the best stand-up comedy host in the world.
Oh, stop. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay.
that's
That's
not
good.
what you said. What are you talking about, Greg? Come on.
I mean, I'm a
Well,
little.
hopefully you'll host the show again in September, June when we do it. So hopefully you'll be unbooked that night, so I could have you.
We'll figure something out.
Is
Sure.
that date locked in, Jasmine? Is it? What
Oh
date is it?
yeah, it's as locked in as my chastity belt.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not taking
It's
that
locked
bait.
in. It is locked in.
Awesome. So,
Were
hey,
chastity belts a real thing? Like I picture the thing from Robin Hood Men in Tights, just like a panties made out of like with a lock on it. Like, was that an actual thing at some point?
It's called Your Mom, and it's called Your Mom, like, controlling your you know what from like 3,000 miles away.
Right. I get you.
yeah, but it is a real thing, right? Like, isn't that like a legit something? Like, is that real?
It's made of metal, and it's from
Right.
the really crazy days. I think like someone really wanted to break it off, they could just rip that thing off. It couldn't have been like that thick metal to put it together, right?
So you don't think they worked
Right.
back in like the Game of Thrones days?
Weren't people getting knocked up?
Yeah, a lot more than knocked out. So
Right, what color hair do you have? I'm sorry, what color hair do you have today?
Me?
I don't know why he masked it behind the hat. I'm like, you're not
Yeah,
even
I know,
you're not a
crazy.
hat guy. Your hair's always crazy.
Oh my God, you look
that looks
good
cool. What are you
hair.
doing?
It looks cool, right?
Right.
Oh
I'm like,
God,
why are you?
so awesome.
I swear I thought that was a bald guy until like a week ago. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're making all of us look bad. What are you?
What happened, like, for everyone who didn't see my pictures of having a head that looked like a lit on fire match, it I couldn't bleach all the color out of it. So like it's still red in like all the roots and the bottom. Like you can see it. You probably can't see it on that, but up close, it's red. So I don't know. It looks goofy.
Well, at least you didn't do green, because then you look like a bald guy right now, right? With the green screen.
A green screen. Yeah, I don't know. I think next time I'm going to go with purples, and then I'll live with it longer.
Like the unicorn guy that I was posting memes of, like in hot pink, like
no,
leotard.
It's what the girl wanted to do. She was like, "Let's do a unicorn." I'm like, "I'm not doing a unicorn, but I'll do dark purple to light purple to silver, so it's at least a little more mature." Is that not more mature?
No.
At least it's not a mullet.
Oh, mullets are awesome. I love real mullets, like the lifestyle. And people, like, I'm just getting so sick of hipsters with mullets because they don't understand there's a lifestyle behind that whole thing. It's the type of music you listen to, what you watch on TV, what kind of motorcycle you ride, where you go on a date, what kind of food you have. Like, it's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. I agree. And like me being black, I believe in rat tail energy. Like I love, like, what do you call it? Like a rat tail. There's multiple words depending on where you're at. Duck tail, rat tail, whatever. But I totally understand that.
I've never heard
like,
rat
something
tail.
about it is like, yo, I am a stepdad and I'm here to stay. You know what I mean? Like I love that shit.
I've never heard rat tail energy. Is that a thing? Rat tail energy?
The rat tail, a duck tail, whatever you call it. I don't know. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, for sure. It's powerful.
So Jasmine, obviously I know a ton about you at this point. And I think Chase does not know as much about you. He hasn't had the privilege of hosting and chatting with you on podcasts for, I don't know, 5 months now, even though you've been doing an awesome job doing them alone without me for the last few months.
Congratulations. That's amazing. Do you have like another squad? Do you just talk like to the camera? What do you do? Tell me about your show.
Well, I hit on guys. Usually I use that show as a way to get dates. No, I do get hot looking guys. I just had this male stripper on, an ex-male stripper. He said he'll come out of retirement next weekend for my friend's bachelorette party. So I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see. All right. So what's going on with my, I'm sorry. I'm still, see, this is why I need Greg. Oh, I got it. Okay. So, am I still on camera?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome. So the show is amazing. I really love it. And I adore Greg for helping me with it. It's called Krazy Train with a K with Jasmin St Claire. It has so many different guests on it, from pop culture, people who do unusual things. It has porn stars, current and past. It's got writers on there. It's got music. It's got some people in heavy metal. It has other hosts and other personalities. It's got criminals. And I'm currently speaking to someone who's in lockdown, and I'm trying to see if he could do something via Zoom with me. He has access to a computer.
Lockdown.
So I can't say who it is.
Lockdown meaning jail, just not COVID lockdown. Lockdown.
Oh no, he's in jail.
Prison.
Like real prison, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't writing him or anything like that. It's just someone I know.
Right. So this
sounds amazing. That sounds like what all these Marvel movies are leading up to. You're already on it with your interview. You're interviewing everybody. You're like, come through, let's go.
Dude, I've been doing this. I was doing The Secret long before like it even came out as a book. Like I kept talking about this gangbang, and it finally happened, like just like that, out of the blue. So if you talk about things, eventually they happen. As long as you're not sitting in your living room in your pajamas just talking about it, you have to go out there and manifest it.
That's crazy. That's cool.
Week, Chase, do you know Jasmin? What's his name? Brett Raybould.
Yo, oh my God, he's so hot. I was talking to him on Valentine's Day. So he was technically my Valentine's Day date. Because like when guys hear my podcast, specifically the earlier ones when Greg was interviewing me, they stay like far the heck away, which is totally fine.
Who are y'all talking about? Who's the person that you just mentioned?
He's a comic, right? Brett Raybould.
Brett Raybould? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know him, Chase?
No.
So Jasmin interviewed him a couple, like you said, on Valentine's Day, and we just put it out yesterday or Wednesday of this week. And when I was listening to it, he said he just drops in this conversation, which was chock full of nuggets. It was like each one of them was throwing machine gun nuggets that like you couldn't just pass up like digging into. But he throws one out where he has his own NFT, so he sells himself as an NFT, which I hear that word every day somewhere, and I semi-understand what it means. But in the context of this guy selling himself as an NFT, I don't know what the fuck that means. Jasmin, do you know? Like, what does that mean? What is he doing?
He's not selling himself like I wish you would, or I pay. God, no. He basically has his own cryptocurrency to raise
crypto,
money.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he has crypto. Excuse me for 1 second because I dropped my microphone before. Not when I said that, but
like he created his own cryptocurrency, like he has his own
brand. So he's
of
basically publicly traded. So that means he can sell himself, and he's raising money for a film. He's not using a GoFundMe. He's just doing a little bit smarter. So he's out there. He has his own cryptocurrency, which is pretty cool. I've never heard of that. So I've got to learn how to do that. That's the first time I've ever met another comedian that's like super smart, aside from like Greg and like you and Eric and Elliot Janine. So it's crafty. He uses that to raise money to put a play together that he's been writing. So he could actually pay the actors instead of doing that. Hey, be in my play for free. So yeah.
Yeah. It was cryptocurrency. It's called Brett or it's something crazy. And
Brett Coin.
Brett Coin. Yeah. And it's like, it is genius, because if you could take that model of GoFundMe, Kickstarter, and bring it to a cryptocurrency that lives in this weird world of no regulation, like that's genius.
Huh. I think I might try that.
You should.
I think it should be Jasmin St Coin.
Ooh, I like that. Jasmin St Coin, and I'll put something out, buy me forever. And then not buy me a handbag forever, just buy me forever. And I'm sure we'll get some hits from it. But I like that thought of Jasmin St Coin. That's so much cooler than crypto.
Sounds cool.
You definitely need your own currency. I think you could do a lot with that. So What's going on with XPW?
Oh, I'm so super excited. So, do you watch wrestling at all? Have you ever followed
Me?
it or anything? Yeah.
I'm a fan. I watch whenever there's a documentary about somebody's life. Like I love those wrestling documentaries. Like I'm so fascinated with the stories, and there's a lot of things that anybody sort of could relate to, just about entertainment and comedy, just everything. I'm fascinated with it. So yeah, I have friends that are super into it. Greg said he's gonna take me to a live one day, so I'm super excited about that. But I've always been a fan. I haven't like dived in, but I love I'll watch the documentaries on people and stuff. And when they write books, I'm always fascinated by. You guys are fucking. I just have so much respect for that world. It's so cool to me. Yeah.
It's really interesting, and it's sad when you get the older wrestlers who did the whole extreme wrestling for many years, because their foreheads look like Chinese road maps, and that's like how they cut themselves so they bleed.
Oh wow.
So XPW wrestling is extreme pro wrestling. And back in the day when wrestling was at its high point, we had extreme championship wrestling, which is like the burning tables, the fireballs, getting hit with a chair, getting put through tables. It was so cool. And like getting thrown around by like 300-pound guys every weekend. That's they had a lot of small girls as wrestling managers who'd get into cat fights. They'd have skimpy outfits on. It was really cool. So enter XPW. That was the ECW of the West Coast, but on steroids. So now they're making a comeback in California, April 9th in Pomona at the Derby Room at the Fairplex. And I'm super excited to go back because that's where I started wrestling.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't really leave the company on the best terms. I sort of just kind of, wandered off. I have like this whole thing about, I don't know if it's separation anxiety or I just feel this guilt. And I just left. Unofficially, but I just left. And
are you a huge fan of the Irish goodbye? Like you just snuck out, like didn't say anything? Is that
it was see the Irish exit? You get it.
Yes.
Like nobody knows what I mean, because I do a lot of Irish exits.
I get you. It's just that extra energy is too much. Let's just you know what? We're all on a good note. I'm here with you in spirit. I don't need, because there's such a formality to the goodbye. It feels a little hacky, right? It's like, all right, I'm leaving. Like, it's not like you feel weird announcing your departure, right? I get you.
I thought I invented the Irish goodbye, but apparently everybody invented the Irish goodbye.
Well, this was, it was like that, but I was also under contract to this gentleman's company at XPW. So it was more than just an Irish goodbye. It was an Irish breach, but
an Irish car bomb.
Irish car bomb. So they're doing the show, and I was back in touch with him over a year ago, and I always knew that the owner, Rob Black, he had more in him than to be in a smaller community that he was in to go bigger, and he did. So we're doing the show in California in Pomona. It's a King of the Death Match tournament. Death matches are brutal. So I'm excited. I haven't been around blood and barbed wire in a while.
Who's in it? Who's on the show? Like who's wrestling?
Necro Butcher is wrestling. I've never worked with him before, and it's all these other like fabulous indie talents that he has.
Right.
I know that there will be a bunch. I'm just looking at this. I'm just at the lineup. I know that there will be a bunch of surprises and people we haven't seen in a while. I'm pretty sure. A lot of guys are coming by to check out the show. Let's just see who they have on the card now, because now I'm curious.
Are they advertising you as part of the show?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
here we go. Yeah, we have this. There's a woman wrestler. There's a Pagano. There's a Tanya Valkyrie coming on. Dirty Ron McDonald, Medusa or Masada, Shane Mercer, another one named Hoodfoot. All these really great names I like.
I love all those names, and you just, I don't know if you timed that on purpose, but Hoodfoot.
I didn't. Righteous Vincent, and let's see, Cat Martini. So I mean that'll be fun. Maybe there's like a feud there that'll happen. Eric Ryan, Juicy Finau. I mean, I love these names. I think they're people. Those guys were born with those names. I think.
Are you? I don't want to give anything away, of course. So by no means.
What if Eric Ryan is the stage name and everybody else was actually born with.
Are you
With
getting in the
full.
ring to like actually wrestle, or what's your deal?
I don't know. I'll get in the ring though.
Well, of
Maybe I'll rip
course.
some bitch's hair off. Excuse my English.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so that the just to take back Chase a little bit in this. So XPW was started by this guy Rob, who at the time, and now Jasmine, correct me if I have any of this lineage wrong, but he also was in the adult industry making movies, right? So
He had a company, just be clear.
right, he had a company
Yeah.
that was making adult movies, and at the same time, he started this wrestling league, all working out of the same building. So there was this like cross pollination of the two businesses. And
Yeah.
I mean, and all I know is what I've seen on like some of those shows, Dark Side of the 90s and Dark Side of Wrestling and stuff, and then of course talking to Jasmine. But that must have been pretty wild, like crossing these two, crazy worlds and combining them, because obviously the adult business, and he did pretty aggressive movies, and then he had a pretty aggressive wrestling thing. So I mean, was it weird? Like, what was that like?
Um, it was cool doing his adult films because I don't really talk very much about that whole era because it was 2 years of my life, or 2.5 years. But I have to say, like his films are like fun to work to do because he did really cool things like having sex in a grave, or like being dressed as baby Jesus, having sex with a priest. So yeah, I know it was so cool. Or like having
You
sex
know,
with
those
two clowns.
those really
Like I
fun
never
things, Chase.
yeah, normal things, like things you may never do in your life. Who was that guy that would dress up as a clown? Was that Dahmer? Anyway, so it was cool in a way. And then like when I first started working for Rob, it was like being with this big family. Then we went to Brazil. Stuff went like south there in a way, not for me, but for just things circling around there. He got mugged, like someone took a suitcase with money.
Wow.
uh I broke up with my boyfriend at the time there because he was drunk. He ended up going to a brothel. Like it was this whole thing. It was just like
I
craziness.
get it.
It
But
was fun.
but it
It was
sounds fun. He sounds like a fun. That's the type of person I'd watch a movie about. Like somebody that's like, like listen,
right.
he's like, coming up. He's like a visionary, and he's like, all right, I want you guys to fuck on a grave on top of a volcano.
It
That's
was
crazy. That's
awesome.
fucking crazy. Like, of course, he's got a suitcase full of money. That's that guy. That's the
Yeah,
guy that would
exactly.
have a suitcase full of money for
He was
sure.
outrageous. Like I spent Easter at their house. Like when I first signed there, he was new, and it was really a pleasant thing when we started. Then there was this crossover in my career where there was heavy metal, porn, and wrestling.
Right.
I was the first adult film star to host the Metal Fest, like the San Antonio Metal Fest, Milwaukee, and they had wrestling there. Now, mind you, I never wanted to be a wrestler growing up, but then I watched it. So Rob presented the opportunity to me. And it was so weird because you'd be there like practicing wrestling things, and then like off to the side there's like a porn scene being shot, and I kind of just wanted to make a choice. So I just decided I just want to stick with wrestling. Like this porn thing's done, it's boring, there's nothing else you could really do. I mean, you did a gangbang, and then you had sex with with a priest, you had sex with
Two clowns.
clown. So what else is there to do? A snuff film or something? So yeah, I just like, which I gladly would have done if I was like on the other side of it, but so on the side pulling the trigger, mind you. So
I love
then
that.
yeah, I would have. Hey,
The
I'll
right
do
side,
it.
the right side of the snuff film.
Exactly.
You treat like the jackass guys treat stunts. It's like this is gonna be fun. Like, it's like that sounds fun. Let's
Yeah.
do that. You're like, all right, well, I haven't gotten a good one in a while. I'm gonna go to this wrestling world
I'm gonna do
because
this wrestling thing, and I really
yeah,
loved it. And it's like there's no adrenaline, there's no rush that you could describe when you go into a ring, and it's really scary. So how I actually got involved was when Rob was supposed to work with ECW Wrestling because he was friends with them, and he flew me out there to be a part of that pay-per-view. And then he started his own thing, but there's still the porn thing, and I really had my heart in wrestling, and I was taking wrestling classes on my own dime and time. Word of advice is never ever take a diuretic pill before you decide to wrestle, because you go like really loopy. So
I thought
yeah.
you were going to say you go something else, but glad.
No, that did not happen. No, thank God. Then I just stuck with that, and I left, but it was too much to be involved in both worlds because I wanted to be taken seriously. And I was looking for a reason to quit. I mean, it's either going to be some like super rich guy getting me out of the business, which would probably get boring after a year anyway, or just something on my own. So I prefer to go with choice door number two.
Wow.
Door number one's great. I think a lot of people took that route and then they sell real estate. That's like whenever you see a good looking girl selling real estate, she's either like a porn star or a stripper before. I can guarantee you that.
Let me ask you a question. Have you written a book? And if not, why? Like it sounds that sounds amazing. Like,
dude, you have no idea.
Sounds like a good story. It sounds like a bunch of
I have 184 pages of the book written in my on a hard drive. But I have a one-woman show called A Weird Kind of Fame. So I did all the workshop performances in LA at the Second City. They were like 50-minute performances. So I thought that was fine because I saw Mike Tyson's one-man show. It was like over an hour at the workshop. I was like yawning. I'm like, my God, like I want to hear his story. And he had an excellent show when it was finished. So now I have the one-woman show that we're putting back. I've been rehearsing it on my own here. We're speaking to a venue in Chicago. I just see someone to book venues that have like the right AV because it has everything in it. It has like the whole Springer era. Like you see all the clips of me in Springer, Howard Stern. And like I watched the show from a video standpoint because I'm trying to make up my show reel finally to sell it because I like that show a lot. I like going out. I like doing the show. I was supposed to perform it last year and I got scared because I have stage fright and I didn't do it very much. But yeah, I love this show. Like I think like that show, I'm in love with that show more than I could ever be with any human being because it's my life. And sure. It's 27 years of something weird people have just kept me around for, but I'm still here and I'm still doing it. I'm still going to go to a wrestling. I'm going to do whatever, I just kind of get up and I do things. And this is why Greg wanted me in the morning time because he knows I go off earlier in the morning. Then I'll go crash for a couple hours like a little kid. And then I'll get back up and do something else that gets me amped up. So people always ask, wait, is she on drugs? It's like, no, I don't need drugs.
Hey, do you eat cereal?
Yeah.
What's your cereal
Thank you.
choice?
I like Captain Crunch. I like Cocoa Puffs and I like multigrain. I don't really have sugar growing up as a kid. I'd have like Raisin Bran or Honey Nut Cheerios. And I like Frosted Flakes. Sometimes I have ice cream, like vanilla ice cream with Frosted Flakes and
wow, that's a pro move. That is a pro with bananas and ice cream. I've never mixed those. That sounds amazing.
Oh my God. Who's that?
That's a good idea.
Milk Bar has the best ice cream. I mean, they have the right ideas going on.
So I asked you that because me and Chase have this ongoing conversation about cereal because I'm not a cereal person, which he cannot believe. But when you mentioned that you take a nap in the afternoon like a child, that's usually because of a huge sugar rush that might come from eating ice cream.
I don't know what's happening in the morning.
Pebbles in the morning.
Greg, if you don't like cereal, I'm suggesting you should try the Reese's Puffs. Start there.
I've had those as a snack. They are awesome. They're killer.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Then you're human. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, it's just not something I eat at 8:00 in the morning.
Why?
I don't know. Because I don't like.
You don't
milk.
Like dessert for breakfast?
No, I don't like milk. Like the only thing I can drink milk in is coffee. It's the only thing I can't.
Well, you can put oat milk. There's so many options for milk nowadays. Have you
no, I know.
It's
the whole milk thing. Whatever the
use macadamia milk. I mean, it's the same thing. You have to have cereal.
Oh, the nuts turn into great milks for sure.
Fruit Loops. You could use Fruit Loops. That'll suit you well, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll have a taste.
I don't always eat breakfast though.
I don't
always do it. When I have acting class, I do.
When you're
funny, I was never a Fruit Loops guy. I do like a dry Fruit Loop necklace though. That I can handle some Fruit Loops, but I never like the cereal like with milk. Never a fan of Fruit Loops, but I like the dry. Oh, I'm gonna eat this necklace real quick and leave the string. Absolutely.
I think when you're in the city next, Jasmine, we'll do a like a cereal taste test at the club or something.
Yes.
Just line up like 20 cereals.
Or go to like Dylan's Candy Bar, or like better yet, Serendipities. Have you ever had the frozen hot chocolate? Oh my God. Whew.
No.
Frozen hot chocolate.
Oh,
Wow,
you
that's
gotta
good.
have it, Chase. It's
What
like,
is that? Is it a drink? Is it a
no, it's frozen
spoon?
hot chocolate, and then you put it with ice cream. It's only at Serendipities in the city.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
try that. All right, I'm in.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
we spend most of our time on this podcast talking about food. So
You should. I don't think enough people talk about how great food is. I mean, people get on this kick about like being in shape. You could just go to the gym or something, or like throw it up, but or take Fentermine. If you do the Fentermine, you got to do it an hour before you eat. You have your coffee, and then you do whatever you want. But you know, you only live once. Like,
True.
I don't want to be reincarnated. I don't want another life. Someone else could take my other life I'm supposed to get, because I love this. I just like eating whatever the hell I want. Did you see those new burgers at McDonald's, guys?
no, what burger? Oh, yes, I did. The one with that's got like a burger, a fillet of fish, chicken nuggets, and potatoes on it. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that at the drive-thru. I didn't know if it was real. Is that real, or is that real? Like, you could order that.
That's awesome. I can't do it. I've always stuck with the classics at McDonald's. I never try the new thing. I never try the new, if it's like the new bleh, I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stick to my fillet of fish. I'm gonna stick to my Big Mac. I'm gonna stick to my 2 little cheeseburgers meal, whatever that is. It's amazing.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? I'm probably going to gross you both out right now. So yeah, like I only order one thing at McDonald's, and it's the just regular, just basic cheeseburger. That's my McDonald's. But then a few years ago during the summer, they came out with the McDonald's lobster roll.
What?
Yeah, a lobster roll at McDonald's. So I don't know how someone drives through McDonald's and doesn't say, yeah, I'm going to try their lobster roll. And I did, and it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't, wasn't good, wasn't bad, didn't make me sick, but I was willing to give it a ride. That
I
grossed
like
you out?
White Castles. Like when I leave Duff's, that's like the best heavy metal bar in the city. So I go to White Castles after with my friends. I don't get sick the next day, but I love White Castle onion rings. They're the best food in the world.
Yeah, White Castles.
Yeah, I like those rings that are like chicken rings. Is that what they call them? Those. Oh, yeah, those are pretty good.
But I saw Super Size Me a few years ago. Did you see Super Size Me yet?
Yeah,
Did you go to McDonald's after?
Yeah, right after. I was just like, I like the second after. I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. All right, I need to let me have my goodbye McDonald's, and then I'm done forever. And then it didn't happen. I just keep going back. Every time I eat at McDonald's is the last time I'm eating at McDonald's. But you just can't. It's just fun. It's clown food. Yeah. It's not real. It doesn't taste like an actual burger. It tastes like McDonald's. It's its own genre. Yeah. The same way Taco Bell is a Mexican food, it's Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell. Okay. Sometimes I want Taco Bell more than I want real Mexican food. I just want Taco Bell. Listen, here's what we got to do. We need to give white people props for taking the taco and then taking that what do you call it? What's that taco they have at Taco Bell where it's a taco
chalupa
with a soft taco wrapped around it with cheese on it or whatever.
Chalupa.
No, I think it's called the crunchy crunch wrap, the crunchy gordita.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I always forget the name of this thing.
Have them here.
Yes, that thing is good. It's a good thing. White people fixed Mexican food on some level for me. I don't know what it was. There's a simplicity that I like. If you like hospital food and stuff that's kind of flat, Taco Bell. Oh my God. Just the sauces, I like Taco Bell. It's not bad.
To set this straight, Chase is from Houston. So
yeah.
Take that.
Oh, okay. Taco Cabana.
You know about Taco Cabana.
I used to go to Houston a lot, and they had those Taco Cabanas. You get margaritas at night, like all different hours. Yes. But Taco Bell is of its own. Like I had this idea for Greg knows about this. I think he supported this idea kind of. So when you said hospital food, I thought of a nursing home. They just opened up a nursing home down the street. It's a lot of rich people that put their kids there. I mean, it's a lot of kids and rich parents there. It's really nice. I'm thinking of getting a job there. Maybe I could serve the food and serve like the Taco Bell to bring something different. Find out who doesn't have kids to leave money to.
Okay,
get rid of them.
Anna Nicole Smith.
What?
I said, okay, Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh no, I'd be way smarter than that, please. I thought it was really sad what happened to her. I would, first
Yeah.
of all, I wouldn't have a lawyer around me named Howard Stern.
Yeah,
And
right.
then secondly, I wouldn't I'd figure out a way to like maneuver it somehow, I think.
So, keeping to this white trashy food stuff, where are you on the pizza spectrum? Like, what kind of
Me?
what kind of pizza
Oh
do you?
God, New York pizza. I mean, LA pizza sucks. They say the Rainbow has the best pizza. It doesn't. I like
Ugh.
New York style pizza. I don't know about Chicago pizza.
Wait
I
a
don't know
second.
what it is.
Who says the Rainbow has the best pizza? Who says that?
You'd be surprised. People from LA that
They
don't
don't know
know any
anything.
better.
First of all, if you're at the
Jasmine,
Rainbow, you
Jasmine.
have to eat pizza. I mean, you have to get a pizza. But I
Mhm.
think you order the pizza at the Rainbow just because of it's bad pizza, but you have to do it. Like, you can't go to the Rainbow and
Right.
not order pizza.
Oh, you're
Hey,
drunk.
Jasmine, let me ask you a question real quick, though. Honestly, have you had Domino's thin crust?
I love it. Now, where I
Thank
live
you
in New
so
York,
much.
there's a
Thank you so
Domino's.
much.
There's a Domino's around the corner from me in Manhattan. I'm at 51st and First, and there's a Domino's you smell whenever you walk by. So every morning when I get up to go to Dunkin' Donuts for my coffee, I smell Domino's. I smell later at night. I'm like, there's a problem when Domino's smells better than the Italian restaurant next door to me. But
But
my go-to place is First Avenue Pizza, or Best Pizza. But
this-
I
this-
do not. It's it. I can't have pizza here.
This
No,
conversation is specific to Domino's thin crust pizza, though.
it's good.
It's
So-
good.
It's good
Why?
stuff. I
Well,
love
it's like a crack. Who doesn't like pizza on top of a cracker? It's the you know what I mean. It's just perfect. And okay, best piece in the. Let's be honest. My favorite piece in the Domino's thin crust, the little corner triangle. That's where the
Yeah.
party's at, right?
Uh-huh. The crispiness. Do you live in New York? Do you live in Manhattan, or where do you?
I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah,
What part of Brooklyn?
I'm in South Slope, Park Slope.
Okay. Yeah, I used to go to pizza around there 2 years ago. I don't know if those. I like the mom pop pizza shops. So
Yeah,
at Eastern Parkway, on Utica. What avenue was it that I get off on? Either Utica or one of those. All the way off on the one. I'd get off there, and there's a mom pop pizza place with the best. It was so good from the crust.
so good. Let me ask you a question, because I'm a huge crust guy, but I like a mom and pop pizza. Leave the bubbles on the crust. I love a bubble on a crust, right? It almost turns it into something croissant-ish. I'm a huge fan.
Who
I
takes the bubble
celebrate the
off?
crust with every bite. I'll take a bite of the part that you're supposed to bite on the pizza, and then I'll take a little bite of the crust, because I want to celebrate the crust with every bite. The crust is my favorite part for sure.
You should try Brazilian pizza. It's really good. They have
Ooh.
like a Brazilian, it's a rodizio, so it's like all you can eat, but they have birthday pizza.
What is that?
What
birthday
is
pizza?
that?
It's like cakeish stuff on a pizza, and you give it to the tradition is you give it to your favorite family member first. But they have them in there are two places in LA that have good Brazilian pizza. But like when you go to Europe, like Holland or Hungary, they put like corn on the pizza and all this other weird stuff, and then you dip it in sour cream. But it's good. Like it's an acquired taste.
I like that. I need to try that. Let me ask you another question. We're talking about dipping pizza and shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan when I was a kid, but now as an adult, what do you think about, again, we're talking about another franchise pizza place. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of, mom and pop places that need a lot of light shined on them, but the magic of that garlic dipping shit in Papa John's, what is that? What is that?
I'm sorry, my future husband just rode by. What was that? That was my ride. Now go ahead.
Have you had the garlic sauce in Papa John's that you dip the pizza
Yes,
in? What is
yes.
that about? How has that not just been a standard that, like, how has no mom and pop place been like, all right, they're right about the garlic sauce. Here, take the garlic sauce. Like,
Who doesn't
it's
like
a good
garlic
You're dealing with
sauce?
Italians. You're dealing with old school Italians. You can't do that. I guess, right? I don't know.
I don't
Old
know.
school burritos.
I mean, the more garlic sauce you put on something,
Sometimes
the better.
people need to admit when these franchises are onto something. Wrapping the taco in another taco. Thank you, Taco Bell. Having
another
garlic
taco.
dipping sauce inside the thing. Thank you, Papa John's. You know what I mean? Like, we need to learn from each other. And
So wait, have
know-
you gotten that burger yet at McDonald's with the burger with the fillet of fish with
yeah.
chicken nuggets? You got
it. How was it? What was it like?
I was drunk. I don't know. Actually, it was really good. It was a lot of food. I thought it would be like Pimenti Brothers in Pittsburgh. If you guys ever tried that before,
No, but I've heard of it.
No.
it's freaking amazing. They have like fries in there. Everything is in there. Fries, pickles, coleslaw, like everything they put in the sandwich. I was very drunk when I had this. I didn't throw up though, so it was good. It tasted good. Like
I
I
love
don't
that
really,
review. I didn't throw up though, so it's good.
I don't really like the fillet of fish in there. I like the meat patty and the chicken. Like the fillet of fish, I could have done with that because that's got some really weird areas to it. It's like it's kind of fresh. It's like, oh, I don't know if I should be having this. Then after seeing Super Size Me, I didn't eat there for like 6 months until I'm driving home from the Rainbow one night, and I need 2 cheeseburgers because they have the best cheeseburgers.
I like that 2 cheeseburger meal at McDonald's. It's just something that it's just the right. It's the thing about the McDonald's cheeseburger is it celebrates the condiments because that's all the flavor. If you like condiments, the McDonald's cheeseburger is the burger for you because you can barely taste anything else. Everything else, you get the texture of a burger, but the flavors of the condiments.
It's the overwhelming taste of the ketchup and onions.
Yeah,
that's all you taste in that burger is the ketchup, onions, and the bun.
And I don't even like onions, but they have the right, like the way they dice it up, it's like little sprinkle of onions. I'm like, that's the right amount of onions for me. It's not too much.
That I love it. Like I could have the pickles on their sandwich on their burgers, but the other company that does an okay burger is Shake Shack. That's around the corner.
Agreed.
But for some reason, it's not the same standard of McDonald's, and I like their sundaes. So when they first came out with the McDonald's sundaes,
love it.
My mom picked me up from school for lunch that day just to have that caramel sundae. I still got those. I love them.
You got the caramel sundae. That's a very adult move for a young Jasmin St Claire to decide to. I know, but did you decide on the caramel, or she's like, give her the caramel? Like it's almost like when you see a kid that orders pistachio ice cream, I'm like, does that kid really want pistachio ice cream, or do his parents, did they train him of pistachio ice cream? Because that's not something that I discovered until way later. I didn't know red velvet was a thing until like 5 years ago.
She's a very cultured. She's very cultured private school.
Very cultured
private school. Yeah. She knows where it's at when it comes.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I wasn't ordering pistachio. That's too like way too mature. But the caramel, yes. What was my like? I don't know. I like the Neapolitan ice creams. For some reason, I don't like strawberry because it had all the seeds in it.
Yeah, I understand. Just the thing about strawberries, you know those Biore strips you can put on your nose and then like rip it off.
I do it all the time. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about. I've always wanted to take one of those and do it to a strawberry and see if it pulled out those little seeds on it. Like those little, like, what is that? What are those? Like the pores. It's got pores like Edward James almost. What is that on a strawberry? Crazy.
You have to, if you're going to do it, make sure the strawberry is totally dry.
Then it has to be a dry strawberry. Thank you so much.
I'm going to try it now because I have strawberries here, but I've got to try it. I do the Biore strips because it's good. Like everyone should do it. I encourage guys to do it. I encourage women to do it. I encourage everyone, even kids, because kids today, it's like you got to clean your face. They're not scrubbing their faces.
I like a good charcoal peel off face mask.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah.
I could see you going to the spa and pampering yourself.
Oh, no. I don't go to a spa. No. I do it in my bathroom. I don't go to a spa and be like, charcoal face me, please. No.
I could see you doing it though, like sitting back with your robe and like the whole hair.
my smoking jacket. I have velvet smoking jacket and slippers.
Like Hugh Hefner.
Stroll out into the grotto with a face peel.
I'm telling you.
Hey, are you watching that? Are you watching that series on A&E about Playboy?
I watch both because I've been to the mansion many times and I had friends that live there. So I watched the first one on Amazon Prime about his life, which is really great and wonderful. Then I watched the other one and I'm very dubious about a lot of the stories that people say because he didn't die with a lot of money when he left this world. But I don't know. There's just a whole other narrative with girls that kind of bond together with this stuff, but they were having their best lives ever while they were there.
So
plus I was friends with this chambermaid for many years.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've been in that situation. You've been at the Playboy Mansion. You've tried the Biore strips and the charcoal mask.
I was in the grotto, but I didn't try no Biore strips.
Got you. My question is, which one do you think is more effective for pulling shit off your nose? The Biore strip or the charcoal mask? Because I feel like the Biore strip might go a little harder. I don't know, but what do you think? Biore. That's what I thought.
Because the charcoal leaves like a film after. And I think a lot of people are pushing the charcoal agenda. The narrative is to like cleans you out, blah, 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 blah. So have charcoal in your water, just plain, not like just alkaline water. Someone said it gives you liver problems. I haven't had liver problems, and I've been drinking that for years.
So, but here's what I want to know about the Playboy thing. So
Yes.
obviously you were, you spent considerable time there and then watched these shows. Like I watch them and I'm like, I have a hard time, and I would never ever in any way minimize someone's story, right? Whatever that story might be. But it's a little rough, I think, to hear it all after the fact, after he's gone, right? And they got out of being there and taking part in all of that, whatever they were looking to get out of it and take part in. So I don't know. It's a hard thing to digest. Like, what do you think?
I don't believe 90% of any of that. I'll be honest with you, because I
Right.
knew 3 of those girls. And don't forget, this is LA. It's a very small town.
Sure.
And you see these girls at other places doing the same thing. I mean, it's just, you're talking about it now. Why wasn't it an issue while you're on all these other shows and like posing and all of that? You could pull
Right.
yourself out of anything you want to. If you're over 18,
Sure.
you could do that. You could pull yourself out of a cult. Was it a cult like thing? Yeah. My friend left because one of my friends left, and she took the monkey with her, by the way. She met a guy, and they were together. So she just left the mansion. Um, but yeah, I don't know about all that. And I just couldn't keep watching it, specifically with one specific girl, because I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like you see her at other parties and just around town at other places, and just the whole narrative of what she was doing. It's like, okay.
Right.
But I suppose like people like jumping on bandwagons too.
Of course.
A lot of people said nasty things about me, but I was really happy, and very proud of that. Yeah.
So
I don't know, but he was nice. He was really nice. I think he had a really good life that a lot of guys wish they had.
of course. I mean,
Is it like a show that talks shit on people or something?
no,
I
it
didn't
was
see
it
the
was
show.
a documentary series about Hugh Hefner and Playboy,
Ah.
like the dark side of Playboy, some like whatever.
Dark side of the 90s, dark
No.
side of wrestling.
I mean, it just, I don't know, whatever. So two like lots of different things. Like the one thing I've never asked you in all the interviews we've done and time we spent doing stuff is you've been out of the industry for 20 some odd years, the
Oh
adult
shit.
industry, right?
Yeah.
And I imagine once the internet, which is a large part of what we've talked about, came into play, like really came into play, how often were you solicited to come back into the business?
Oh, all the time. I just got a text message from someone today, like in my Instagram. It's some guy out of Germany or somewhere that's doing stuff. They're going to pay for my flight, though. I said, yeah, it's okay. I'll pass.
But like,
Thanks.
were you ever tempted to, was there ever like a financial offer that was like, holy shit, like this is very difficult to pass up, or a cool opportunity? Like, did any of it ever make you think twice about getting back into the business?
No.
Huh.
I mean, even I was down and out living homeless in an SUV for a couple of months or whatever. I still didn't. I mean, I could have. I didn't want
Sure.
to, though. I'm one of these people, I guess. It just wasn't something that I really liked that much to go back to. It's not like wrestling. It's not like doing
Music.
heavy metal interviews. It's something totally different. And
Right.
I know a lot of girls do comebacks. A lot of girls are doing webcamming, and that's great. They have the patience, all the power to them.
Sure.
But it's just not for me. I never, I couldn't. And plus, I don't have the personality for it. I did
Right.
like one webcam thing towards the end of my career. This webcam, like a 1 hour thing. I like popped off of it after like 5 minutes because I was cursing people off. I didn't want to do anything that they were telling me to do. So I shut it down. Then I went to the strip club to have a steak dinner. So I don't think that the business is very much for me, so to speak. It was, yeah, it was a good dinner.
Yeah. So like what, obviously you still have some close friendships of girls that have continued to do it, or rekindled friendships with people like Lisa Ann that,
Uh-huh.
obviously she's retired now, but she did it, up until a few years ago. Like what do you think of running that career that long, right? Because she started as a young person and now she's, where she is, I think, still younger than me, but little older in the industry, like do you look at that in a different kind of way? Like girls have been doing it that entire length of time. Is it about the money? Is it about the love of the game? Is it just because that's all they know?
It depends on the girl. Some of them don't have their heads screwed on right, and you just do it for because there's nothing else to do. Lisa
Right.
has done a bunch of different things.
Yeah, she's genius. I mean,
I
she's
say,
brilliant.
yeah, she has. I adore her. She looks like a Republican, though. Um,
She so does. I honestly, like, if you were going to draw
Nail
a
and Palin,
Republican,
baby.
like, yeah, well, maybe that's why, but
That's what I meant.
yeah.
um, yeah, that's totally what I meant. But I think she just has different. She has her fan base. She carried it on. I don't think she had I think she just took advantage of opportunities
Right.
that presented themselves in a great light for her to continue on doing things. And she's like another Brittany, like Brittany Andrews is the same thing, goes back and
Sure.
forth. I had no idea Brittany Andrews was directing regular films. I don't know if
Right.
I got to blow her for a part or something, fine. But I just like, it's just these girls, some of them do things like that, and that's fine. That
Right.
suits them. Me,
Sure.
it's just, I went on to other things.
Right. And a lot
Yeah.
of other things, like
and more and more and more.
that
But
crazy
I
train has
think
been
they're-
running on the rails for a long time.
Oh yeah. I didn't go to a therapist. Like that's my therapy. Plus having a podcast like that, I could hit on guys and like, I'm not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, it's so funny because obviously the ones I wasn't part of, I listened to them. And I'm like, oh, this is the part where Jasmin legit makes a power play for Mr. Skin.
Yeah, dude, did you see what he looks like? That is like one piece of
course.
seriously.
He's a really nice guy.
He's really smart and really nice, and he's very charming and well spoken. And he built quite an empire for himself. And like
sure.
you see other guys that are really good looking and have it together. So I got phone numbers, not his phone number because he's married, but like I have other people's phone numbers.
Do you know who Mr. Skin is, Chase? Do you know that guy?
Is it the guy that made the condom called Skin, SKYN?
No, it's he got popular.
The wrestler?
No. He got popular on the Howard Stern show, but he started a website, years and years ago, which they parodied in that Seth Rogen movie, whatever the hell it's called, where Knocked Up, right? Where he his website chronicled every nude scene of every female in the movie business, right? Like you'd type in any girl you wanted, and it would tell you every movie she's been in, naked or close to naked or partially nude, and the timestamp. And then years later, he started the same thing for guys. So he's built this business.
What's is it like I am double DB? Like what do you name? What do you? That's crazy. That's pretty. That's smart.
It's MrSkin.com. That's it.
Oh, and then he made a dude version, so you can click men or women when you go there or something.
Yeah, Mr. Skin, SKIN, then MEN. It doesn't have a lot. There's one actor who I was hoping to see more of. He's in the movie Shot Caller. I think he's Danish or Russian. I'm like, where are the photos of him on here? Oh, that's right. He was in a prison movie. So, but it didn't have all of the nudity in that. But yeah. So
apparently the new Channing Tatum movie with Sandra Bullock, there's apparently a lot of Channing Tatum in that movie, I heard. So, get ready, Chase. It's coming for you.
And he's in a channel. I really find other guys I find like the weirdest looking guys, I guess, hot than most what girls would think, like Crispin Glover,
Yep.
He's like super hot. But then I got to see Christian Bale frontal nudity in the Mr. Man site. I was just like, okay, next.
Okay. So,
but he's a great actor. I love his work. Chase, I think this is around before you were born, or even like a sperm in your dad's ball sack. Like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 39. I just turned 39.
Was that around before then?
What
around
Mr. Skin?
Yeah,
Mr. Skin's been around a long time. Yeah, I think 20 years. I met him on, I think they were doing like a 20th anniversary tour or something. And that's when I first met him. Yeah. So it's been around a long time. Like he's famous for, coming on the Howard Stern show and doing like the Mr. Skin Awards, like for years, pre Sirius satellite radio for sure. 100%.
Wow.
It was fun. That was a wild time.
Oh my God, we didn't even touch on it. Chase, we'll have to do this again when. So our other co-host John is off traipsing around the Philippines and Thailand and stuff this week.
Oh yeah.
So
he seems like a Thailand guy. That makes sense.
he seems
That
like a
makes sense.
Thailand guy.
He's single.
He's single already.
Yeah, I know what he's doing there. He's got a lot of bang for his buck, probably.
No pun intended. And John doesn't turn. He likes both sides, so he's really in his element down there, over there, sideways, wherever the hell they are. So before we go, because I want to do this again when John's back.
Yeah.
So maybe in the city we'll do it live, and then we'll do your show or something live. Chase, anything we want to end on, like anything that she touched on that you want to follow back up on? Because I mean, we talked just about food.
Listen, just put out the book. I feel like I see the book cover. It's you, a white cover, maybe like written in lipstick or some shit. You can see it. You can see the book. Do your book. It sounds like you have so many good stories in there, so many good eras. You know what I mean? Like if Forrest Gump was like smart and could like, do everything. Like, you know what I mean? You're like that Queen song, I want it all and I want it now. Like, you know what I mean? You're doing it all. Like, that's very cool. Like, you know what I mean? And what's like, I'm not going to go back to that. I want to keep finding out new things and experiencing new things and stuff.
Chase,
like
do you know who Corey Feldman is?
Really cool.
You know who Corey Feldman is? Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do, because you're
he's the dancer.
Yeah, aficionado.
He's a dancer now?
But when he sings his songs, he like dances.
So, you're talking, yeah. So when me and Jasmine first started her podcast, I think the first interview we did together, she basically started out with like, "Hi, I'm Jasmin St Claire. Corey Feldman has a small dick."
Yeah, the first time I went on Stern, I was just chit-chatting with them because I'm not used to doing porn talk. I just had normal conversations with him and Robin. They're really pleasant people. And then they asked me if I met anyone interesting in LA. At the time, I met Ron Jeremy at the time, and I said Corey Feldman, and like we're sort of seeing each other. Oh, really? What's that like? Well, he has a really small penis, which is true, he did. But I was still invited to his pool parties. That's where I met like Todd Bridges and those people. But I thought like these are normal things to me. So to some people, they might be a bit outrageous.
And outrageous by meaning Corey Feldman to this day, and that interview is what, 15 years ago? She doesn't talk to Jasmine.
I don't know why. It's just he kept telling me, when you go back on the show, you gotta let them know. I'm like, why? Like, what difference is it?
Like, he wanted you to let him know that he has a small dick?
No, he doesn't.
That he didn't, Chase. That he didn't.
Oh,
right.
But the truth is the truth. So live with it, man.
You should tell him that.
Well,
you should tell him that, Greg. I will. Yeah, you should tell him that. We got to get him on the show, and
we'll get him on, and then that's how we'll start. And it'll probably end very quickly. But hey, truth
like
hurts
some things on him.
On that note, we'll leave with talking about Machine Gun Kelly. I'm really loading it up for you, Jeff.
Oh, wait, hold on. Chase, now I got a question. What should the book be called? Because it's funny, because the one woman show, it's a white background, and the show is called A Weird Kind of Fame. So what's the book called, Chase?
That's a great name for the book.
Okay, there we go.
The book based on the one woman show, or like the extended, but you gotta have, listen, I'm throwing this out there. Pictures in the book, please. Pictures in the book. I like pictures in a book. I'm even okay with when you're reading a book and they have just like a section in the middle with like a bunch of pictures. That's, you know what I mean? I think that's the cheap way to do it, but I feel like you'd have some cool pictures in the book too. You know what I mean? Like,
thank you. Well, yeah, if I could get someone to pen the book with me, I want to do it and then put it out. But the podcast has been going really good. So I just want to keep using that to build more momentum and fans that I probably didn't have before. And the goal is to have the one woman show twice a month, going all over the world, so I could speak like 5 languages, so no one else really can, except moi. And then just have the podcast, and just the acting that comes along. So that's what I want to do.
So I know where to find you, but where does everybody else know where to find you?
You know where to find you. Go on the web. Jasmine doesn't have an E, Claire does. So it's twitter.com, Jasmin St Claire, Instagram.com / The Real Jasmin St Claire. And if you go on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, it's Krazy Train with Jasmin St Claire, and the train leaves every Wednesday morning. I kidnap different people on it.
as long as Greg doesn't forget to post them. And with the all new website, crazytrainpodcast.com.
Yeah. And then come see me at XPW Wrestling April 9th in Pomona. Make sure you have a mullet. And yeah.
And then New York City at the Cutting Room on June.
I forgot the date.
Is it Friday the 13th? Is it the 13th?
No, that's in May. It's June. It's a Friday night, and I
June
think
11th.
it's the 12th or the 16th.
I think it's
yeah.
June 11th.
Something like that.
It'll be on the website, so anyone listening can check out the site, Jasmin's site, Krazy Train Podcast, for all that info. And with that, I thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I want to do this again when your other co-host is here.
We will.
Thank you.
We will. That'll be its own kind of Krazy Train, but we'll definitely do that.
I missed you, Greg. Okay.
I missed you too. Hold on.